I was born in Pingtong, uh, a little town, or now it's a sort of like a big city,
Mhm.
Pingtong, Taiwan. And I was born in a clinic, actually.
Would you be comfortable sharing what year you were born?
I was born in the year 1967.
Um, what's some of your like favorite childhood memories you have from there?
Um, all my favorite childhood memory would be that we got to go to my grandparents' house. But then it is like a trip on the train, and then we have to get up really really early in the morning just to get to the train station, and then the ride was like really really long, but we always get there by like 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's not that bad in that sense. So we got to spend time with our grandparents and our cousins when we were little. So we had fun.
Yeah. Did they live kind of far away from where you guys were?
Um, at yeah, at that time because they don't have bullet trains, so they
Mhm.
it's like slow train to that place is called Fang Liao.
Mhm.
So yeah, Fang Liao from not Pingtong, but from a place called Fengsan. That's where we live when we're little. So from Fengsan to Fangliao, it took a while to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, did you visit them for like holidays or did you visit them often?
We visit them like every other Saturdays.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So just to I remember like trying to get up early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, just to get to the train station.
Wow.
So yeah. And then when we get there, like we see our grandparents, and we'll play with our cousins, and then we would be like in front of the house. And I remember like walking on pebbles. So um my grandfather, he would like get up really early in the morning just to sweep the grounds, and then and so it's really really clean when we get there.
Yeah.
And when we play with our cousins, my the the one memory that I had with was I was playing with my cousin who's closest in age to me.
Mhm.
He was only like 4 months. He was born 4 months later. Um, and so we were playing on the grounds, and then um, oh, and my aunt, my second aunt, offered me a sugar cane, and so I was eating a sugar cane, and then he was saying, that sugar cane looks really hard to to bite into. So he didn't want it, and then so he was watching me uh, eating that sugar cane and saying, "Why did you spit that out?" I said, "Well, it's because it's very fibrous, and then I just wanted the juice." Um, so yeah, um, that was one of the cousins, and then my other memories of um, being at my grandparents' house was that uh, my other cousins, the one who's the ones who are older than me, um, he was he was like experimenting. he took a magnifying glass and um put it under the sun, and then he saw an ant crawling by, and I was thinking, okay, you might want to take that magnifying glass somewhere else. But then he was like, no, no, let's see what the ant would do if I have that magnifying glass under him. I mean, above him.
Yeah.
And so, um, and then all of a sudden I see the smoke coming. I said, stop, stop, stop. You're killing that ant. And so he stopped, and then he picked up a leaf, and then he put it under that magnifying glass. And then he asked me, what do you think is going to happen to that leaf? And I was like, I don't know. And then um, the longer that he had that under it, um, I smelled this strange smell, um, as if that leaf was burning,
Mhm.
but I didn't see smoke. But I have that scent.
Yeah.
It was a strange burning smell of that leaf. And so he goes, oh, did you see that smoke? I said, yeah, maybe we should stop.
That's funny because I have in elementary school, me and my friends would be like, we had a garden, so they'd take us out to the garden. We had a magnifying glass, and I remember we would like try to set the leaf on fire. And I just remember it smoking too, so that just reminded me of that. But yeah, so you mentioned that family, you see your family a lot. Are they
Mhm.
really important to you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great. Um, would you share some of like the values that are important in your family?
I believe that fam when we're little, I remember like family gathering is really important for us. But um, the one part that um, I find it strange is that we will always go to my mother's family more
Mhm.
than my father's family. And so there was that one point where I guess my mom actually mentioned it to my father. And so afterwards, we didn't just go to visit my grandparents like midday of that Saturday, or maybe like Sunday morning. We would always go to my father's side.
Okay.
And because my grandparents had gone passed away before I was born.
Wow.
So so we would visit our cousins and our aunts and uncles um, more than before.
What were some of the things you and your family like to do together?
um, well, for us, like my cousins and I, we would always like to play hopscotch, but it's a different form of hopscotch where you have to kick this little it looks like a puck, but it's not. um, we made it ourselves out of tin cans, tiny tin cans, candy tin cans, and then we put soil inside it
Mhm.
or little pebbles inside it, so it's heavy,
Yeah.
and we cap it, and then we tape it around it so that it would go off when we kick it. And so we would throw the puck into the boxes or this hopscotch boxes. And so we would jump and then kick the puck to the next box. And if we miss it, we're out.
Okay.
So um, I I remember like doing that every Saturday or every other Saturday with my cousins, and I have fun with it. Um, because when we're little, we see that area. Um, I always see that area being so huge
Mhm.
and so wide. And when that one time I was a teenager visiting my grandparents. At that time, we were already like immigrated to the United States, and so when I went back to visit them, and wow, the road didn't seem so big anymore. It's so narrow. Um, I was thinking to myself, like, is it because we're tiny at that time? And then it's like now that we, you know, have grown up, like looking at that road going towards their house, it's like it's quite narrow. But then we were able to put that, hopscotch there. So I don't know how we did it. Um, but um, we mostly played most of the time, and then we would do pretend play sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. We would pretend that we're a big family and someone is a father, mother, and we're like little kids. And yeah, and we do have like teacups, pretend teacups,
Tea party.
tea parties. And so um, I really, when I was like, as I grew up, I really missed that part.
Mhm.
Um, um, Being with my cousins and
Yeah.
you know, um, I mean, I do have sisters. I have three sisters, but then to me, it's two of my sisters. They were born here in the United States, and they grew up here. So to me, I'm closer to the one who was born in Taiwan also.
Yeah.
So but the closer we are, the more fights we have.
Of course. Yeah.
Because we're closer in age too, and so we would have fights. And then I remember like when we were little, we would fight over little things, and then she would say, "Okay, this area is mine. You cannot cross over this area."
Draw a line. Huh.
Yeah, she has a pretend line. Yeah.
Um, are you in contact with like your cousins or your sisters a lot? Do you talk to them a lot?
Um, I talk to my sisters a lot more now. There was a time where we kind of drifted off, but then I mean still close, but then it's just that time, and then
Yeah.
um yeah, space, because we live far apart. And but with our cousins, I'm closer to um the cousins who are younger than me,
Mhm.
maybe because they're United they're in the United States also. The ones who are older than me, we sort of lost touch, but I s- I know that they're doing fine, and then we do ask, each other once in a while, how they're doing. And right now I'm like close contact with my one cousin. Um, she's she she was able to I don't know, we don't meet a lot, maybe because her family, her mom was actually given away to my grandmother's sister. And so uh my grandma, to her would be her auntie. instead of calling her mom, she would call her auntie. And then, yeah. And so, but they grew up as our cousins, and
Mhm.
they all grew up as our cousins, but it's just that their family gathering would be with my grandmother's sister's
Yeah.
family instead of us. So, but now that we're adults, she's still in contact with me. So I find it really, really nice that, she wants to reach out.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so, but with the other cousins, they're so busy in Taiwan that, oh, I only know about them through their sister.
Mhm.
Um, so because the sister lives here in the United States, and yeah, we're in touch once in a while because she's retired. She's like out out there and about visiting places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, I hope everyone stayed safe and healthy, especially this
Yes,
past
I
week.
know. Hmm.
Um, yeah, so you're outside, you're playing all day, you come in, you're hungry. What's like the thing you want to eat? Your favorite food?
Mm. I have a lot of favorite foods from Taiwan, but the most the my favorite food is stir fried rice noodle.
Mhm.
Um, because I remember my grandmother, she doesn't cook, but she would but she knows she so for some strange reason she knows a lot of recipes, and so that stir fried rice noodle, my favorite was from her actually, her recipe, but she had my mom cook it. uh, and so my mom, stir fried her stir fried rice noodle is like my favorite.
Mhm.
And then there's another um, favorite of mine is in Taiwanese, it's called wang gui. It's literally from a bowl, and it's almost like how would you say? It's almost like nian gao, but then it's made from rice. It's also nian gao is also made from sweetened rice, but um, the wang gui is salty, it's savory. It has meat meat on it, and it has sauce, and it's actually white at the bottom. Um, I, uh, the taste of it is like it just reminds me of when I was little. Um, going to places or my mom making them. So I really, really love anything that has to do with rice, I guess. Rice noodles. Mm.
Do you make those things often, like today?
No, I don't. um, I I stopped cooking. I stopped cooking like a long time ago. Um, but um, but when the time that I was cooking, I would try to make stir fried um, rice noodles, but it would always never like come out to be
Oh,
the that very special taste from my mom or that special recipe from my grandma. So so I kind of gave up on that. But I know how to do stir fried rice. And I would always add the Western style to it, adding bacon or ham. or my daughter is like uh she likes stir fry rice too, and so she would put spam in them.
Mhm.
So it's really interesting. It's a different type of taste.
Traditionally, did it have, was it like vegetarian? Did it have any meat in it traditionally?
Traditionally, it doesn't have any meat in it. It would have carrots, peas, um, and my mom traditionally she would put her stir fry rice. She would put ketchup,
Hmm.
which is very interesting because I would not, envision ketchup in my stir fry rice.
Yeah.
But she tried it, and then it turned out to be like actually not that bad. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I could see it. Ketchup's a little like vinegary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, so at the dinner table, did you just kind of enjoy spending time with each other, talk about your day? What'd you guys do at the dinner table while you're eating?
Um, at home, when we were little, I don't remember talking about our day, but once in a while we would my sister loves to talk about her school,
Mhm.
her school day. And so I remember when we were little, like during dinner time, she would be telling us stories about her friends getting together and they had pretend fights. And I was like, what do you mean by pretend fights? She would say that, we would play this game where we have to go, um, is it stone, scissors, and papers, and then we step one step forward or two steps forward. Um, and then if you pass that person's out. And
Okay.
so I was like, oh, okay. Then it's not fighting, like you know,
Like fist fighting.
punching or fist fighting or kicking. Okay. And I said, okay, that's good. Um, so she would tell us about that. And then once in a while I would add in because when I was little in first grade or second grade, even, I'm the quiet type.
Mhm.
So I would not, mention anything at the dinner table.
Yeah.
But when I got to be third grade in Taiwan, I started like wanted to share my day and share what I did with my friends, and then all of a sudden I said to my parents, "Oh, by the way, when I was in first grade, this little bad boy he came towards my back and then hit me really hard, and I had bloody nose that day." And then my parents said, "Why didn't you tell me when you were in first grade?"
A whole year
And
later.
all those years, I kept it to myself. Um, so they said, "Well, you should tell us more about your day."
Mhm.
And so ever since then, at the dinner table, yeah, once in a while we would talk about what we did
Mhm.
at school. And my fun part, I believe the fun part is being able to go with my friends
Mhm.
to a little store, and we have allowances at the time, third grade. Being in the third grade, the good part is that we get to have allowances. um, and so I would take my allowance to go buy papers and books and even erasers or pencils. And then um, they would also sell bread and cookies, bags of cookies. And so my friend said, don't just buy those pencils and erasers, buy something to eat. Or and so we would take like our recess time,
Mhm.
we would all go together, like three of us, we will all go together and we would all purchase something to eat, and then we would just sit under a tree, and then having fun, just eating and talking about, you know, what's going on at home. And I think that was my fondest memory, being able to talk with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you and your friends obviously would love to hang out. Who doesn't?
Mhm.
Did you guys ever like play any sports or just do any other hobbies together?
Um, Not really, but I remember doing a lot of hopscotch
Yeah.
and jump roping.
Mhm.
Um, my One of my friends, she would teach me how to do jump rope, but then in a freestyle. It's not um actually just jump roping. She would like whip the ropes like sideways, and
Oh yeah.
then and then jump, and then whip it again sideways, and then jump again. And then I thought, wow, where did you learn that? And so she would teach me how to do it, um and then eventually I got the gist of it.
Mhm.
And um I lost it along the way because we moved after um after I finished my third grade in
Mhm.
Taiwan. We moved to the United States.
Oh,
And so yeah, um so my memories of Taiwan, or to me, is would be like limited up to my third grade year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to do like the double dutch with the two ropes?
Oh no,
Never
but
noticed
but my friend could do that.
that.
She was like incredible.
Yeah, no, I've always tried. I could never. Um, yeah, so let's see. When you were say in like second or third grade, what did you want to be? What profession did you want to be when you grew up?
um, what I, Back in third grade,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be an artist,
Mhm.
even though it's not a profession that my parents would want me to be in. Um, because I love to draw at that time, and then back in second grade, at the end of the year, my teacher would always give us presents for being the top five, or the top 10. And so she gave me a paint set, and I was so excited over it. And so I took it home, and I, told my parents about it, and I started using it right away because I love drawing and painting at that time. And when my tube, like the paint is all gone, I said to my mom, say, "Can we go get more? Can we go get more?" And then my mom would tell me, "No, you have to work on your homework first. If you have to, if you finish it, we'll go get it." And so, um, yeah, um, at that time, I wanted to be an artist, but afterwards, like concentrating more on the academics, it's like
Mhm.
just lost its um, I lost the interest. But then I picked it up when I moved here, moved back here when I was in middle school.
Mhm.
I picked it up again, and I really love it. Um, just didn't. I even entered sort of like a art school, trying to enter the art school. And then I drew drew a picture and I sent it in, and they said um, they said that I still need more practice before I turn in another one. And so that time I was like really upset over it, but then I said to myself, yeah, it's true. Like the paper that I mailed in wasn't that good. Um, so I worked harder and harder and harder, and then um, my teacher actually sent one of my work in, and they said that they're ready for me. So I'm able to go to that school, and it was like I was really really excited over it. And then I went home and then told my mom about it. My mom said, "No, you're not going to art school."
No.
so so I just like stopped, and then once in a while I would like want to pick up pencil and just doodle, yeah, um afterwards. But then as I grew up, um it turns out that um it's just a hobby
Yeah.
to me, yeah. So I probably would not want to be an artist, because I know that it's not that good to the point where it's going to be famous. um so so I know that that from those experiences I found that my interest in art is just a hobby. It's
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
really into a profession. Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so like when you were just at home, you didn't have to do school or anything, just relaxing at home. Is that what you did a lot, is draw and paint?
um at- when I was in the when I was in middle school, I did.
Mhm.
I like during vacation times,
Yeah.
break times, I would like be at home drawing away, doodling away or painting away. But my mom would always stop me. Uh, and my sister at that time, she was really mean to me in that sense that she would tell on me. She would
Mm.
always say, "Mom, guess what? Judy has been painting all day. She hasn't been studying." I was like, and I would tell on her. I would say, "Mom, guess what? She has been reading books." It's a good thing, but she hasn't been doing her work. But she loves reading books, romance books
Yeah.
at that time. And so my mom would catch her like reading books a lot. And then once we were doing homework, and she had her um, biology book propped up, and then inside that biology book was her romance.
I mean, smart.
Yes, very. Because we will always do our homework at the dining room table.
Mhm.
Because at that time, my mom just doesn't trust us doing our homework individually in our
Yeah.
room. I mean, we do have desks.
Um, that's great. Would you be comfortable sharing like what your parents did for a living?
Um, my mom, when we were little, my mom was a housewife.
Mhm.
Um, she didn't go out to work until our middle school,
Yeah.
when we're in middle school. And my dad has always been an engineer, and then um, as we progressed, he when he came to the United States, before leaving the United States, we moved a lot.
Yeah.
Um, when he came to the United States, he was still an engineer, um, electrical engineering,
Mhm.
and afterwards, when he left the United States, he worked as a manager, more of a manager, and he managed probably 50 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, yeah, you said you moved a lot.
Uh-huh.
You
Moved a lot.
Did you enjoy traveling, or you just wanted to settle down somewhere?
No, to me, I just want to stay somewhere. But we moved a lot because was it's not because we're in the military or anything like that, but it was because my dad, he just wants to be in a better position in the companies, and so uh, we moved a lot because he changes
Mhm.
companies a lot. Um, but I can I can say that within my move, I have been into I have been in many different elementary schools.
Yeah.
So um, when we came here to the United States, when we immigrated to the United States, in third grade, I was here in California, San Jose,
Mhm.
and then West San Jose, and then I was there for 2 year and a half actually, and then we moved to Sunnyvale, and then so that's a different school, and then different elementary school, and then from that elementary school we went to middle school. At that time, it was called
Mhm.
junior high school for only half a year, and then we moved to New York. And then from New York, we stayed for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I think that was the longest um, stay there. Um, we and then from New York to Florida, and then from Florida back to California. Um, Before all that, we stayed in Chicago. So Chicago was one of my um, Chicago for half a year, the beginning parts of my fourth grade. So, and then from fourth grade to from Chicago to California, and then California to New York, New York to Florida, Florida back to here. So it I finished my high school years, the last 2 years in California. I started off from Florida.
Oh,
So I never like actually graduated in a certain place for 4 years or
oh.
even more than that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel that traveling or the moving to the point where I got really tired of
Mhm.
it. And when we came back to California, I was in high school,
Mhm.
and my parents uh, took my two youngest sister back to Taiwan. So it was like one big trip.
Um, when you kind of think back on some of your childhood memories in Taiwan, what are like some of the like feelings you have? Just kind of reminiscing. I can't even say that word.
um, Actually, I kind of miss the place because even though I left when I was in third grade, I still feel, like along the way, you know, I lost that feeling of wanting to be there.
Yeah.
Um, but I did visit. I went back and visited when it was in junior high, and then I went back after I graduated from college. I really had culture shock,
Hmm.
literally had culture shock. And so to me, I sort of like lost that memory of being there.
Yeah.
Uh, but during the 4 years I was there as an adult, I thought back to, to the years when I was a little kid, and I really miss it. And I said to myself, what if, what if I didn't I didn't move or I didn't immigrate to the United States? What would happen to me as I like stayed there, and then what would happen? Like,
Hmm.
and I would always think about that what if,
Yeah.
and um, what if I had just stayed, you know, um, because I really missed the play, the pretend plays, and just, not being with my friends at uh, it just has that feeling of loss.
Yeah.
But in thinking back to those years, I have really had wonderful times just to be with them and be with my cousins and visiting my grandparents even.
Mhm.
I think that was the best years
Yeah.
of the, you know, um, and wanting to be in that situation. If I have to do it over again, um, I'd rather stay,
Hmm.
um, and just to see myself like growing up in Taiwan. What would it be like? But my happiest memory would be like, I think would be my 3 years there, in elementary school, um, because before first grade or even kindergarten, I have no memories in that because
Yeah.
in kindergarten I was here. I was here in the United States, and so um, I didn't like my kindergarten years. But when we moved back to Taiwan, um, when we were little, we immigrated here when we were little. We moved here when we were little, and but then we went back.
Mhm.
That's the weird part for me because we were here when we were little, and then we moved back, and then we came back again. So that's why to me it's like, it's kind of strange. It's a strange feeling, but the years when we were there, like I I really had wonderful memories of just being with my cousins,
Mhm.
um, and even those fights with my sisters. I found it like really silly now, um, wanting to fight with her, and then and then all those little activities that we did together. So um, yes, I do really have happy memories when I was in Taiwan. So it is actually it was it was fun being with my family. It was fun being with my cousins,
Yeah.
and yeah, and my favorite part is because every time when we visit my grandmother, she would always give us red envelopes, even though it's not New Year's. Um, she would like give us red envelopes. I mean, it's only dollar and tea, but it's a lot for a little kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. When you lived there for a few years after college, do you still have like the same feelings of happiness during your time there?
Um, that one year, I I literally had culture shock. I just like didn't know where I am.
Mhm.
Um, maybe because I've been living here and moving about in the United States,
Yeah.
that that time, that one year when I was there, the first 4 months, I just couldn't feel that same feeling of being happy when I was there. And it's a strange feeling. It's it's almost like undescribable. Um, but there would be times where I would be outside on the street corner, and I was but standing there, and I was thinking, am I in the United States or am I in Taiwan? And it's that space and that time, it just really throws you off. But as I, like stay longer and longer and longer, I got really used to it.
Mhm.
And so I was thinking to myself, actually, I can see myself living here. Um, there was that one moment where I was thinking, well, I can stay here and teach English all my life. but but just so happens my father said, no, you're going back to the United States. You have to get a job, a real job. To him, tutoring is not a real job. So because when I was in Taiwan, I have been like I would tutor kids from the United States or from Europe, those type of kids. And so or their parents work for the government
Mhm.
and they travel a lot, and so I would tutor them English. And so those kids, actually, I've at that time when I was tutoring them, I was like, I kind of feel how they feel.
Mhm.
Because maybe because I feel like I've been moving a lot when I was little, so I can actually feel how they feel.
Yeah.
Um, so uh, when I was tutoring, I was saying to myself, yeah, I want to, I want to do this. I
Mhm.
really want to, teach. And so that that started me like thinking, coming back to the United States. My father had pushed me to come back, so I said, okay, then I'll come back and go get a master's. Or for that's when I said to myself, I'm gonna come back and get a master's in TESOL so I can teach abroad.
It's great.
uh,
Um,
yeah, being in Taiwan as an adult, and then being ta- in Taiwan when I was a kid, it's like there's like um I feel that there's
mhm.
a gap of um it's almost like I lost something in between. Um, that so as I grew up, as I got older, I don't have that same reminiscing or same thoughts when I was little. So if you were to ask me that same question after that very first move, first immigration from third grade to here, that would I would have a different feeling than if I were to, as an adult, going back there and then come back here. Yeah, I I feel as a third grader, I really have fun. Second grade, I have fun with my friends in school, and then play games. We do jump ropes a lot, and we do, uh, as you said, double dutch. We
Mhm.
do that a lot, and we make our own jump ropes
Yeah.
from rubber bands. And so yeah, um, it would be different if you were to ask me, you know, going back there and then come back again. It's a different type of feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, if you could go back and tell yourself in third grade or second grade one thing, what would it be?
I would tell myself saying, um, actually, I would tell myself saying that you should convince your parents to stay
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because my sister had a fight over the move. My sister was the more extrovert. So I'm more of an introvert at that time. I think I'm still a little, but for my sister, she would fight with my dad. She would fight with my mom. She would say, "No, we have a say in it. We don't want to move. Our friends are here, and I've been to school, and we can't. You cannot just say we're going to leave and we're going to leave." Um, that my dad, my mom feels like, yeah, we should think about their schooling and their future. But my dad said, no, we're moving. And so in our household, dad said, whatever dad says goes. So, um, so I, looking back, like I would say to myself, I should fight for it because I'm the eldest. I should fight more, telling my parents, like, no, what are the pros and the cons of it? Maybe he'll understand better if he's in our shoes. So, yeah, that's what I would tell myself. You know, fight for it.
Yeah. Um, just kind of thinking, do you have like any other memories that you'd like to share that you really enjoyed there?
Um, well, there was, I mean, having only two friends, having only two friends, like, um, it would be better if I had more than two friends because those two, if they did something to each other, one person will come to me
Yeah.
and I'll be the one who's
The
trying to
middle.
get them together, but talk it out. But the thing is, like, if I have more than two friends, that would be easier on me because I don't have to, go get them together. Other um, my other friends would be able to, to do that for me, but um, and then the two friends that my um the the memory that I have the most is like those two friends, those two friends of mine just so happens that she's the leader in our classroom. It's like in Taiwan, we always pick a leader, and we have to pick two students to do the cleaning of the blackboard and cleaning of the erasers. And um I'm always the one picked to clean the windows. And so I don't mind that. But our lead my lead my our classroom leader just so happens to be my friend. And and then the other girl is the so-called vice president. And so she she would always get into fights with the the president. And so I also tell them, I know that you guys have two different ideas, different things that you want to do for the class, but you can compromise. And the vice president will always say to me, but she always says her idea is the best. Her idea is the one that we should use. And so I said to her, well, maybe you guys can switch off.
Yeah. You're like the mediator and all of it.
Yes. I feel like maybe because in third grade I was able to say more, or wanting got to the point where I in third grade I would want to talk more, I guess. And I want to tell them, how I feel
Mhm.
about it. And so I would tell them, you could compromise, or by doing like this week, it's the president's turn. So her ideas are the best. We will follow her ideas. And then next week, we will follow your ideas. And
Yeah.
then she said, oh, I guess. Okay. And so they ended up doing that. And then so they became really, really, really close friends.
Mhm.
So after I left, um, um, we were still in touch for a little while, but then we lost touch because the president, she didn't want to write any more letters. She got tired of writing letters.
Mhm.
Um, so mailing them, and then the vice president, she would tell me uh, what went on this week and what went on that week. When they go to in Taiwan, when they go to school, um, it's most likely that that one class will go to fourth grade together.
Yeah.
We never split our classes up. Um, so not like in the United States where we split the classes up.
It gets all
Yeah.
mixed up.
Hmm.
Um, so I know you guys said that you kind of lost contact, but have you spoken to any of them recently or written?
I tried to look them up.
Mhm.
I still remember their names.
Yeah.
Tried to look them up, but then I found the president, but I'm not really sure if she is the one because she's on Facebook.
Oh yeah.